Good morning, Barry Carey. Doggone it. Thank you for being here. Room Shaker. Have I got something new? Yes, y'all go ahead and speak to each other. Thank you for dropping in and dropping down. I know you'll be doing a replay, but like I said, today I'm talking about a big dummy. All right, y'all. Let me get into it. Let me get this music down and turned off. Yes. Good morning, people. 4 people is in the chat right now. I know I'll probably get a replay and have things said later on about this. But like I said in my opening statement, you big dummy. People, I try to not come up here and signify on people, but when I listen to an ignorant black man, supposed to be an older black man, talk about the word Negro, what it meant to him, what a Negro is, I have to say he's still dumb and ignorant. He's a big dummy. Instead of going back to the facts and checking on things, that the way the word Negro, where it derived from, how it got here, I'm going to have to start talking about it. First of all, I want to say, wait a minute here. Things got kind of crazy. First of all, I want to say, he said that Negro is a form of slavery. It came from slaves. I beg to differ. That he said a Negro has no value. I'm definitely going to say he's wrong with that word. The term, while the term Negro is often outdated, and it's often used in a derogatory way sometimes, but it's not really offensive to a lot of black people that are proud of their heritage or proud of the word Negro. Martin Luther King and W.B. Du Bois thought of it as pride and accomplishments. This fool wants to sit up here and say Negroes were slaves. They're all slaves, tap dancers, even in the modern era. I have to look at that as, you're ignorant. You're so very ignorant, you big dummy, you. If you know where it came, if you know where the word Negro came from and how it originated, you would realize it was back in the 16th century, really. The Hispanics started the word Negro, which meant black. Okay. Um, it didn't get to be ostracized until I would say during the civil rights era in the early 60s, to where things of saying like I'm black and I'm proud came about, and the word Negro kind of fell off of that. There were such things before that were black and I'm proud and everything else. There was the United Negro College Fund, which is used today, and the American Negro, the Negro Baseball League, which is used today. Words that in history to black people, they were proud of being called Negroes back then. They weren't tap dancing, as you say. They were out there doing things to instill pride in the black man, because Negro really means black, if you really want to talk about it. Now, unless you're a non-white person, you wouldn't know what the word Negro really meant, did you? ZX, you're a dumbass. That's all I'm going to say. You're really dumb to sit up here and try to equate Negroes with being shiftless. And then you want to call them tap dancers and all that shit. Well, some of our famous tap dancers, Hines and Hines, they were tap dancers. That was entertainment. The Negro did entertain other black people, including themselves. Uh, when you tried to talk about changing, you're still a Negro because you're out here doing what you said a Negro does: degrade people, talk down to people, um, try to set them back 200 to 300 years, because you really didn't know the definition of Negro and what it meant, how proud people were to be called a Negro. You take pride in yourself, because we had enough problems as it was during the slavery times, and we weren't called Negroes then. You know the word we were called, but you didn't want to use that term. You skipped all the way over that and then tried to go to Negro, which is something that black people were being proud of, talked about, being called as Negroes. Like I said, your era of growing up in the 60s, you missed a lot of things that black people really stood for, and the way how prideful they felt about themselves. You wanted to sit up here and try to degrade the word Negro. And like I said before, if you'd have done your goddamn history and your homework, you'd have realized that Negro is something to be proud of. Being a Negro really is something to be proud of. Being called a Negro was something to be proud of. Because if you remember, a lot of tribes that came over during the slavery times, they didn't have any identity. They didn't have purpose except to serve. And it seems like to me that you're that person that wants to be served all the time. Good morning, dear. Good morning. You want to be served all the time. And being served by whom? You talk about people that you don't know. You talk about things that you don't know. That makes you a Negro, because you're, as you say, a Negro, ignorant, trying to tear people down, trying to sit back in that essay of what you think a Negro is. Look it up in the dictionary. Like I tell you, I'll do my history. I've done my history. I can tell you about history, ZX. And your definition of Negro is asinine, just like you. You're getting, like I said, you're old. I know what it was like to be 60. You forgot. I remember how it was to be 60, but I also remember my past too. You don't have a past. You don't have a past where people were trying to march and getting hosed. You don't have a past where people were told to get to the back of the bus because you were sheltered from it as a child. And then you grew up hating everything in life, different ways of people's orientation, how they looked and everything else. You even hate your own self because you're turning sick. You done got sick. Man, that's all it is. And I don't mean sick in the mind. You're sick with your health, ZX. You are a total idiot nowadays. The things that you say, can you dig it? Oh, come on, man. We were digging it long before you even thought about it. I'm just going to say to you that good morning, Lou 44. I don't see you up here on my thing. I don't know why, but good morning to you. I don't see why, ZX, you want to try to get on here and antiquate yourself as the true righteous person that you are. You're full of shit. You're total, like I said, you're a total idiot. You sit up here and you degrade everything. Yeah, you may not degrade the children, but you degrade their mothers. You degrade the people that are different orientation than you. You know, you talk about everybody and everything. And when you was trying to explain Negro today, I said, this Negro, he's a Negro, ignorant to the fact that it's from the word, it stems from black, being called black back in the days. Negro means black. And if you don't consider yourself black, then what do you consider yourself? Yeah, I don't know why my comments aren't running. Yeah, he's a jackass. I agree with you. But he gets on here and try to portray himself as the upright keeper of the word. He tries to portray himself as the all-knowing, all wisdom of things in life. You're not that. Like I said before, ZX, your ass, you're not that good. You're not that good. You don't hold the key to life. You don't hold the key to what's going on in the world. You don't hold anything in regards but yourself. And that's because you've gotten old, senile. You can't function like you used to. I'm going to call out your manhood. Then you always want to try to degrade the homosexual community. And why they put up with you, I don't know. Because you're ignorant. You're behind times. You're behind times. Things have changed. People are different now. It was bought out in the Constitution. No, all men aren't created equal because black people were not created equal from day one. If you remember, I I don't know. I'm just going to say once again, get your fucking facts straight. You don't try to down the word Negro because, like I said, before the 60s, Negro was and during the 60s, it was a word of pride, a word of self-esteem. People were proud to be called a Negro before the 60s, and things change, words change, you know. I'm not going to be going back and forth with you on other people's panels, but when I do, and I'm going to tell you, yeah, I listen, but when I do hear you talk ignorant, I'm going to bring it right back and throw it right back in your face. You are ignorant. Maybe you're getting senile in your old age, which I don't doubt very seriously because everybody sounds like that. Everybody is like that. Yep, definitely that. That comment came up. He's definitely that. He's a jackass. And he wants everybody to think he's so smart. And he always talks about family. Man, what family do you have? I see you sitting up there by yourself alone in that big ass house. You're not doing anything except coming out here trying to bash people. Historically, you want to try to be a historian. Good morning, Candy Cane. Glad to see you, dear. You want to try to be a historian, but you're not because you haven't lived history. The only history you have lived is getting out in the streets trying to be something that other people despise. What you say, you would catch a punk, as you call it, and you and your gang would beat him up. See, to me, that's terrorism right there. You couldn't accept a person for being a person. You'll never accept anybody that has anything to do with trying to be righteous, trying to give people a break, or anything of that matter. You big dummy, you big dummy. You want to be so smart, but you're very ignorant when it comes to our Black history. You're very dumb because certain things that you want to talk about, instead of looking it up and then commenting on it, you don't do it. You take it for face value. You're not a king. And I'm beginning to wonder if you are a queen because of the platforms that you be up on. You say you're trying to teach somebody something, but you're not teaching them in the right way. You're calling them names. You're sitting up there making fun of women, their families, and how they do things. Family don't do that to one another. They try to uplift and uphold. Yeah, we got some people in our family that we don't have to put up with, or we don't get along with. But you seem not to get along with anybody. Anybody. I'm just disappointed that when old people like you get to talking, you make old people like me look stupid. And I'm not stupid by no stretch of the imagination, ZX. I've been through high school. I graduated high school. I was smart enough to read, learn, and study my history. You need to go back and look at your history from the time you were born up until now. See how words have changed. See what things do mean to other people. You know, yeah, he doesn't understand anything that he reads. And like I said, people, I'm sorry. Like I said, he doesn't go back and check facts. He just wants to come out of here and act like he's the almighty, talking about I'm not a preacher. No, but you try to sound like a preacher. You try to act like a preacher. Yeah. Being the age that you are at 60, it should be a learning process for you. The things that I used to do, I don't do anymore because I know that they're wrong. But you're still doing the same damn things that you used to, you know. Oh, hey, Candy Cane, you missed. And you know what? When I talk about this fool ZX, you're gonna go back and listen to what he says and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm giving a chance for people to go back and see how ignorant he is, or whatever, how ignorant he sounds about the word Negro. He wants to take it and degrade the word Negro now. What you should degrade is the word nigger. That's what you should degrade. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, there was pride in that word Negro. The United Negro College Fund, the Negro Baseball League. Black people back then were being called Negroes, and it was with pride. And it still is, and to a certain degree. But when you get old like your ass, you think everything is degrading now. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's your medication that you're on or whatever. You know, maybe your blood pressure is not the same anymore. And I know when you get 60, there's a lot of things that you can't do except cock your legs up in the air. But that's another story. People, I just want you guys to realize that every time this fool comes on here and tries to debate about things that he doesn't know, and he won't debate anybody because won't nobody hit his goddamn link, especially when you tell people of certain genders or certain sexual purposes, don't hit my link. Well, motherfucker, you don't want to talk to anybody. You want to have a decent conversation. All you want to do is sit up there and try to degrade people. And for that, I call you a Negro. Since it's such an offensive word to you, I'm going to keep calling you a Negro. But I know better. Negro means black. So you are black, but you're still offensive and you're still a damn fool and you're still a dummy. With that, people, I got to go. I got business to take care of. Unlike this motherfucker who will be on YouTube all day, I get out the house. You see, I go places, I do things. But this morning, I listened to a damn dummy. And I don't mean from Sanford and Son either. I mean from right here on these YouTube streets that try to preach to people about family, and he doesn't even have one. Good evening, y'all. Good morning. Talk to you guys later. And thank everybody for coming up. I really highly appreciate it. Even though, like I said, this platform is going to be for stupid shit. I'm going to have ZX on here quite a bit because I do listen to him. I listen to a lot of people. But right now, he is the most offensive, ignorant ass Negro on this YouTube streets. Good day, everyone.